Hello and welcome back. We're doing Creative at Home with AC Education. I'm Vanessa Rogers. I'm a youth worker and a trainer for AC Education. Going back to my roots as an art teacher, and it's been really good fun during lockdown. So what I want to do is to give you ideas, tips and tricks, things you can do at home that really are using things that you're likely to have at home. So today in our household we had a birthday. And I don't know about you, but we never have any wrapping paper. Nothing in the shop, we can't get out, so we decided to make our own. And I've called this Heart of Gold. So what you're going to need, tissue paper if you've got it. This is the best we could find. It'll be fine. Put that over there for the time being. We can also print on newspaper, any kind of thin paper, baking paper, brown paper, anything's good. We're going to make a bit of a mess today, so make sure that you cover your table, because what we don't want to do is wreck everything we possess. So I'm going to put down some paper just to make sure that I've got a bit of coverage there on the table. Recycled cards. I don't know about you, but in our house we're getting quite a lot of things sent by post. These kind of things are great. Cardboard box, anything. If you've only got something like a cereal pack that's a bit thinner, do exactly the same thing, but cut yourself two bases so that you can stick one on top of the other to make it a bit thicker. So I'm going to create a printing block just by ripping up the card. I like to give myself plenty of room when I'm doing this, so I can make any mistakes that I need to make, because I can cut it smaller before I start printing. So I'm going to... that'll be fine. If you've got cookie cutters, something like that, you could use as a template. I've got stars. I've actually got an initial here, which I could have used. I've decided to freehand it, so I'm going to do something really simple. As I say, I've called it Hearts of Gold, so I thought I'd do hearts. What you want to do, take a nice soft pencil, draw yourself in the middle there, a nice big heart. Make your template as big as possible, because then it's not so tricky when you come to do the next stage. So that's how big my heart is, nice and big. Again, doesn't need great drawing skills, anything will do. Little tip, you may have noticed I'm left-handed, as are lots of people. I'm in good company. So Jay-Z is left-handed, so is Whoopi Goldberg, so was David Bowie, so lots of famous people. If you're worried that your children really struggle with art things, a little tip, if you're a right-handed parent, is to teach them by putting a mirror in front of what you're doing. You do it and get the children to copy the mirror image. It's a lot easier. My nan did that for me all those years ago and really helped, because I always struggled. So left-handers, this one's for you. What we're going to do next, we've got our outline. We want some string. Doesn't matter what string. If you haven't got string, you could use wool. You want something that's quite thick, so any garden string, any old bit of string will do fine. You also need some glue. PVA glue is good when you're doing it with little ones, because obviously it's non-toxic. So we want something that's sticky, but it's not going to stick us. And I will warn you, this bit is a bit messy. So you're going to open your glue. This one's great because it's got a lid on it, but if yours hasn't, use a brush. It'll be fine because they're washable, so you can just wash it out afterwards. I'm going to put plenty of glue, a nice circle around the outline of your template. Okay, it doesn't matter about that because you can just push it in like that, because it's all going to go in anyway. Use your finger. Or you could use a bit of cardboard as a spatula. I like to get in there. I'm going to take our string. If you think you're going to get in a mess, cut it into lengths. But if you can do it in one piece, it will give you a better printing block. So start in the middle of where the heart is, and all you're going to do is follow it all the way round, like that. The good thing about having lots of glue is that you can move it once you've got it down. If you're not happy where it is, if you put it down and you think, oh, that's not quite right, you can go back and fiddle with it to get it the shape you want. Do that once you've got a couple of rows in place, because then it's a bit more secure. Try not to get it into knots as you go. So we're just going to be putting it down like that. Now what you're doing is making a really simple printing block. The idea will be that when we come to print, everything that is the straw will print the shape, or the string rather, print the shape. Everything that is the string will print the shape. And you will get a nice pattern from the string that you're putting into the heart. Now, as I say, art is often about the doing. This is the bit that takes the time. So don't try and rush it. If you try and rush it, you'll spoil it. So keep pushing it back together so that you get it as tight as possible. And as I say, if you think, oh, that bottom isn't showing enough, just give it a little push. And while the glue is wet, you can move it around as much as you want. So you're going to work on it and gradually fill up your heart or your star, whatever shape you've chosen. Actually, it'd be quite nice to do the initials of the person whose birthday it is. So it's a real proper personalised wrapping paper. And actually at the moment, you know, it's the thought that counts, because I think everybody realises these are unprecedented times and things are a bit unusual. We're doing things differently. Okay. This is one I've completed and I've left it to dry outside. Probably took a few hours to make sure. Any glue that's around the sides, you can then just rub off with your finger, but you'll feel it's not tacky, so it won't matter when you come to use it as a printing block. Actually, it's really nice like that. I also made myself a little handle for my printing block. You can do that too if you wish. All I did was I tore a strip, rolled it and glued it. That's it. So nothing too tricky there. And then what we're going to do, we are going to get our paper and we're going to print it. So let's just move this stuff out the way, give ourselves a bit of clear space. What I don't want is bits of glue sticking my paper, especially something fine like tissue paper. Okay, so we put that over there out the way. So you've got your printing press like that. I'm going to take our paper. I've got my tissue paper. I'll have a go at both to show you what they look like. I could have ironed it, I suppose, but I didn't. So, having a look, I have all the paints. This is just all the leftover paints from painting the house. If you've got children's poster paint, works really well. I've called it Hearts of Gold because we had some gold paint. So, with my gold paint, I decided that would look great. This is something I've been painting the furniture with. Give it a good shake. Do that before you loosen the lid, because you don't want it all over your house. Trying to keep the mess down to the minimum here. There you go. So what we're going to do is, you want a nice brush, one that is going to put it on. That little house brush looks perfect. Now, we're going to paint this onto here. We want it into the cracks, but we don't want it so saturated that when we put it down, it all blurs. A good idea is to do a couple of print onto here, to do a couple of tests, just to see whether you've got it working or not. So here I go, in with my paintbrush. It's looking lovely already. String's a bit porous, so I'm probably going to need quite a bit of paint on here, but I don't want it too gloopy, so careful on your edges. But if you go over, don't worry too much. That's the beauty of homemade. Do a little bit more on there. And then I'm going to randomly, I think, print. You could, if your paper was in better condition or you've got something like craft paper you're using, you could measure it out so that you do them in lines. I think I'm going to have mine as a kind of random print because I want it to look rustic. I'm getting ready and in I go. Make sure I press it down evenly. And when you do it, make sure you take the paper off the press rather than the press off the paper, so that you can see that you've got decent coverage. So we're going to gently peel the paper back. Oh, beautiful, look at that. There you go. You can see your string print on it. And if you think, actually, I really like that string effect, let's have one that's not as filled. Go in again. Remember, we're pressing that down and we're turning it over, and we are going to take our paper off of our printing pad rather than the other way around. Even better, look at that. A lovely golden heart. Let's show you. Cute. What we're going to do, I'll show you how it looks on the used paper. Move that out of the way. Paper everywhere. This, look at that. That's the Evening Standard for the 5th of December. Seems a lifetime ago since I was on the trains, going into London training regularly. So I'll just show you on here. And as I say, this is great. Any age can do it. If you have some fabric paint left from some project you've done in the past with children maybe, you could get old t-shirts and use that. Exactly the same process, make your printing block, fill it with the string and then print. Okay, let's do one on newspaper. Same principle, we're going to give it a good push down. And then I'm going to pick it up. And remember, we take our paper off of our printing pad. There you go, beautiful. Got a lovely heart, you can see the string. Let's have another one that way round. I actually like the second ones even more. So if you, like me, decide you like the second ones more, do one onto your newspaper on the side, one onto your paper. Okay, and then we need to leave them to dry. And then we're all ready. We're all ready to wrap our presents and to give our parcels with our own personalised wrapping paper on them. There you go, hearts of gold. Obviously we need a little label for that wish jar, which I seem to have put somewhere that I now can't find. Great. I had it all to hand here.
And we are